You've heard of fatty liver disease, right? And how bad it is. And most people think you get it from drinking alcohol. And they're right, you do. But how come so many people are getting it who don't drink alcohol? I've never touched a drop in my life. You may also know somebody who just died of a heart attack, who didn't drink, they didn't smoke, they exercised. And, as far as most people's opinion, they had a healthy life. So why did they get a heart attack? What I'm about to tell you is going to shock you. At least I hope it does. I hope it opens your eyes and scares your pants off so you take health more seriously, because the stuff that kills you is usually not what you expect. What kills more people than anything else, not more than drinking and smoking and drugs and car accidents and even vaccines, what kills more people than anything else are the seemingly benign things that we do every day, all our life, that seem harmless. Something you're probably going to laugh at, but because people do it over and over all day, every day, it adds up. And before we know it, those drops in the bucket fill the bucket, which then overflows. Heart attacks are the result of over 50 years of bad habits. Make no mistake about it. Fatty liver disease is serious because the end result are the top 3 killers: diabetes, cancer, and heart disease. And here's the part that's going to freak you out. You may never have touched a drop of alcohol in your life, and yet alcohol could be poisoning your liver right now. Ready to have your mind blown? You know those cookies you can't stop eating, and all that bread and pizza and pasta and crackers and ice cream and sodas and fruit juice and honey and pastries and cereal and granola bars and desserts and all those sweet sugary snacks that you sneak in between meals, and yes, even mangoes and orange juice. All that turns into sugar. Lots of sugar. The total amount of glucose that's supposed to be circulating in our blood of a healthy 75 kilogram adult at any given time should be 4 grams. That's just 1 teaspoon of sugar. That's it. That's all you're supposed to have circulating in your blood. Anything above that is considered above normal, leading to high blood sugar, eventually insulin resistance, metabolic disorder, and eventually kidney damage, heart attacks, and death. But that's not the scary part. Bread, crackers, cookies, pasta, ice cream, orange juice, and bagels and muffins feed candida yeast, right? You know this. I'm sure many of you are familiar with yeast infections, urinary tract infections, that white stuff in your tongue in the morning, ringing in your ears, floaters in your eyes, itchy skin, bloating, weight gain, and all kinds of other yeast issues. And you probably don't think it's really a big deal, right? It's just a nuisance. Those are just signs of what's going on the outside. But guess what the yeast is doing on the inside? When you eat bread and drink orange juice, the candida ferments it and turns it into, get ready for this, drum roll, yep, alcohol. When someone eats a diet high in sugar and refined carbohydrates, certain gut microbes, especially yeast like candida albicans, ferment those carbohydrates into ethanol and acetaldehyde inside the gut. So yes, endogenous alcohol is the result of yeast and gut fermentation. That ethanol is absorbed into the bloodstream just like alcohol from a drink. And even if the amount is small, chronic exposure, as in eating carbs every day, it goes into the portal vein straight to the liver, and the liver has to process and detoxify that alcohol, producing acetaldehyde, a toxic intermediate that promotes oxidative stress, lipid peroxidation, and inflammation. And what does chronic inflammation lead to? Brownie points for those of you who already know. I'll get to that in a minute. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and gut origin ethanol overlap mechanistically. It upregulates CYP2E1. That's the same enzyme system used in alcohol metabolism, generating reactive oxygen species, and it promotes hepatic fat accumulation and inflammation caused by not drinking, but by internal alcohol production from an overfed microbiome full of sugar and bread and chips and pastries. Now, obviously, bread and pastries and pasta and crackers are easily fermented starch that spikes glucose and feeds yeast. You know that, right? Your sugar, honey, syrups, agave, corn syrup are direct food for candida. And yes, I'm sorry, fruit juice and dried fruit are full of concentrated fructose, and that ferments really fast into alcohol. Also, commercial kombucha and beer and that daily glass of wine that you think is so good for you. Okay, so people who eat lots of sugar and refined carbs can end up with fatty liver disease. But wait, there's more. I'm not done with the joyful news just yet. That's just the beginning. Oh, joy. Your liver is hormone central, and it's where your energy comes from. If you have hormone issues or low energy, HRT, coffee, and energy drinks are not the answer. That's just adding insult to injury. When you eat a lot of sugar and flour and processed carbs, your liver has to process that flood of glucose, and especially fructose. Fructose is unique. It's metabolized almost entirely in the liver, where it's converted to fat, a process called de novo lipogenesis. And over time, that leads to fat accumulation inside the liver cells. That's called hepatic steatosis, and insulin resistance in the liver, oxidative stress and inflammation from fat oxidation, endogenous alcohol production, as we talked about earlier, worsening the cycle, resulting in non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And as the liver becomes fatty, it stops functioning as a metabolic traffic cop, and instead it starts dumping excess fats and inflammatory particles into the bloodstream. So triglycerides go up. Small dense LDL cholesterol goes up, HDL goes down, and blood sugar and insulin go up because of insulin resistance. Inflammatory cytokines like TNF-A, IL-6, and CRP go up. You can have this tested. Free radicals and oxidized lipids go up, and all of this circulates through your body, and those molecules are toxic to arteries. They infiltrate the arterial walls, and the body sees these as invaders, and they try to patch them up with immune cells and cholesterol, and that's how plaque begins. The more oxidized LDL and inflammation you have, the faster the plaque forms, and the less efficient the liver is at clearing that cholesterol and triglycerides, and the more of this debris accumulates, and it just what is this? And over the years, plaques become fibrotic and calcified, narrowing arteries. That's called atherosclerosis. So yes, a fatty liver directly fuels arterial plaque formation through altered lipid metabolism and systemic inflammation. Eventually, unstable plaque ruptures, little pieces break off, and that's when the bad stuff happens, triggering a clot formation that can block blood flow to the heart and the brain. That's called stroke or heart attack. And that's why non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is now considered not just a liver issue, but a major cardiovascular risk factor. 40 years of cupcakes and bread and pasta and ice cream don't just make you fat. It ruins your hormones and your hair and your teeth and your energy and your mood and your hair and your skin and your liver and your kidneys and your heart and ultimately your life. People with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease have 2 to 3 times higher risk of heart attacks, even if they don't drink a single drop of alcohol or even appear overweight. A lot of thin people are actually metabolically unhealthy and have hidden fatty liver, and you can test this and reveal it through ultrasound or MRI. The more bread and sugar and sweet stuff you eat, the more insulin resistant you become, the more fat storage you have, the more liver fat you end up getting, which leads to more inflammation, more arterial damage, more gut dysbiosis, more endogenous alcohol, more liver injury, and your food addictions are literally killing you. I mean, food is the worst addiction of all. Rats who were given in a lab cocaine and sugar, they didn't even want the cocaine after a while. All they wanted was sugar. Habits are so hard to break. This process already starts in childhood. Liver disease and artery plaque is already happening before the teenage years. And breaking this cycle, and I know most of you are like 40, 50, 60 years old. You got to break the cycle like now, because breaking this cycle early enough can completely reverse the process. So don't wait. Like, start now before it's too late. Change your habits and what you eat. You don't have to sacrifice taste. People think, oh my God, it's going to be bland food. No, we have hundreds of healthy recipes on this channel, and the cookbook. Get the cookbook. If you're going to use a sweetener, use Marcus Sweet. It's just erythritol and monk fruit, which does not feed candida, and it doesn't even get absorbed in the body. I made a whole video about it, debunking a bunch of myths. I'll put a link down below. Take the heart formula, go outside, walk 10,000 steps a day, get sunlight, exercise, stop the refined carbs, more prebiotic fiber, do green juice, not fruit juice, minimize the sweet stuff, period. Your very future depends on what you decide to do today. Just do it and stick to it. Don't listen to the naysayers. They don't want you to change because they don't want to change. They want you to be like them because that makes them feel good. But your body belongs to you, not them. Your future is yours, not theirs. Your job is not to change them. Your job is to learn and grow and improve yourself so you can live a long, healthy, happy, fruitful life. And maybe along the way, you can show them it works and inspire them to change. Don't hold your breath, but you could, But if nothing else, you're going to at least outlive your enemies and your naysayers. Yes, I know it's not about how long you live. but it's about the quality of your life. And the more vital and alive you are, the more good things you can do for the world and helping those around you. That's what it's all about. So please take this to heart. It's amazing how the things that you don't take seriously can affect you more than you ever thought. It's not the big things, it's the little things you do every day that end up killing you. So don't let the addictions kill you. And I want you to be alive and totally free and know what it's like to be fully alive. I hope this worked. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.